was to have Bo Porter stay with us when he was here.
Oh, okay.
What kind of manager was he for you guys?
He's awesome, man. He's intense. Got you ready to play every day, that's for sure.
How do you get you juiced up?
Just his manners. His practices were always run very concise, and it's this, and this, and this. By the time you know it, you're ready to go for the game. So.
Was the fact that he was a former ball player, did you guys appreciate it at the time?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's been there and done that, so he knows what he's talking about for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One vignette, and you may have been with him at the time. I went down to see Bo at the ballpark, and she was up sitting in a lounge chair during the game. And I said, "What are you doing up here?"
Got thrown out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that all about? Do you remember?
I don't remember why he got thrown out. There was a couple times. He got thrown out a lot, so I don't know exactly what time it was for or anything like that. But
Did he have a quick temper, or was he?
yeah, but he was never. It was never unjustified. He always had a reason for it. So
Baseball, was this your sport? A guy of your size? You missed football, basketball?
yeah, I played basketball a little bit, but yeah, baseball's pretty much still not my sport for sure.
You're inspired by your dad?
Yeah, my dad played football, so that's the reason that he kind of shied me away from that and told me, you don't want to do that. So he played football for the University of Kansas, and so he pretty much stuck with baseball.
As you were working your way through it, at some point you knew you were being scouted, and what was draft day like for Logan Morrison?
It's pretty. I was at practice. I went around daily, just like normal, and I was at practice, and they told me I got taken in the 22nd round. They had called and asked me to sign in the 8th round, and told them probably wasn't going to sign there, so they drafted me in the 22nd as a draft to follow. And then, it was pretty uneventful, and then, I signed before the next draft with the Marlins.
What were the logistics for all that? I mean, you really skipped a draft.
Well, yeah, it wasn't like you skipped a draft. I just signed before the next draft, so they gave me like that year of college eligibility that I could play,
Right.
develop still, kind of like, I would say like a prep year, high school type deal. And then, signed afterwards before the next draft and right before the deadline.
Yeah.
So.
Was there pressure regarding the deadline? Did they kind of remind you that you'd get tossed back in the bin?
Well, I mean, no, they didn't. No, it was nothing like that. They just made their offers and stuff, and I thought it was enough to where I was like, they put a good enough investment here, I'd get the most opportunities, so I ended up signing.
So you signed in 2006?
Mm-hmm.
What did you know about Jamestown, New York, if anything?
Nothing about it.
Did you have a chance to check in with any of your guys or anybody who was here?
Actually, when I was in the Gulf Coast League, I went to school with the guy that also signed in 06, Jake Blackwood, and he had told me a little bit about it then after he got up here.
What did he say?
Small town, not a whole lot to do, but there's baseball, so that's all you need.
So you come in here day one, and who meets you, Bo?
Yeah, Bo was the first guy I saw. Gave me the signs and said I was going to play right away. And I was tired because I got up at like 4 in the morning and had to get to the airport, stuff like that. But, ended up actually going 3 for 3 that day.
Is that right?
That was probably the only day I went 3 for 3. So that was it.
Now you're currently playing in the outfield, are you?
Both. Yeah, first base and left field.
Do you have a preference?
No, just wherever. I don't care. Just trying to get there.
And here, you played first base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you weren't here at the beginning of the season, were you?
No.
About when did you come in?
A month into it, I think, something like that.
Mhm.
So probably like a month left to play.
So much so that you missed the baseball cards. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the baseball cards.
Okay.
I try to do this with all the guys. And, as you look at this, what I'm looking for is maybe a vignette, a story, on a couple of these folks, or something which would be a flashback as you look at a Bo Porter, or John Duffy, or some of these guys.
Okay. Yeah, I had Anthony was my hitting coach from Jamestown until this year. Anthony Ipossi, the hitting coach, I won't have him this year. It'll be my first year without him. And Sinkville, I actually never played with because he got moved up to Greensboro before I got up here. And Benitez, he's with the Tigers now. And Zach Bird, he used to stand on his head before start.
Stand on his head?
Stand on his head.
During the warm-ups or what?
During warm-ups, yep, before the game, yep. Unbelievable. Jay Buente, still playing with him. Don Chez, he's a good dude. He's from Kansas, actually, so I kind of play with his brother a little bit in Little League, stuff like that. And let's see here. Stu Alexander. He's a weird guy, to say the least.
In what sense?
He's just goofy. He keeps his ADD in check, he'll be pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. Brad Stone, still playing with him. Graham Taylor, still playing with him. Kyle Winters, also still playing with him, and Chris Hatcher. Blackwood, still playing with him. And Blackwood I played with in junior college, so I've been playing with him for about 4 years now. Played against him in Little League, stuff like that. John Rayner, playing with him. Spike McDougal, also with him. Scott Cousins, he's a little bit bigger than what he is in these cards. Still playing with him. And Mikey Youngberg, he's a assistant. He was our manager, but the clubhouse manager. Now he's an assistant with the Marlins higher up. So made a good transition there from clubhouse manager to assistant.
Yeah. Also, one of the cards is George Sisson. What do you think of George Sisson?
George, he's a good guy for sure. He let me stay in his house when I was up here. Came up here, there wasn't any more room left, and stayed with George, and it's a good deal. His family's awesome. I don't know how Kim his wife puts up with all the boys around, but she does it. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I could do that with girls.
As you were here, talk to me about your year here. What kind of year did you have?
Not very good. I had like 211.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good year, but it's only a small sample size. I guess it's only about 3 weeks.
Right.
So
Then take us through the next year, 2007.
okay, I got put in Greensboro. Started out struggling, like 195 in April, and then ended up hitting 300 by the break, and had like 13 home runs. Ended up with 24 and hit 266. Next year went to 2008. This last year went to Jupiter, and ended up getting the most valuable player, and then went out to Arizona, and hit pretty good out there, and now I'm here.
What are they telling you?
Nothing. Just compete, play hard every day, and see what happens.
When they tell you that they prefer to have you in the outfield as opposed to first base, does that bother you?
No, I don't think they've never said that. They just want me to work out there to get more versatility, just in case because everybody can play first base, but not everybody can play outfield. So if I can play both positions, it gives me a little better chance of getting there quicker.
What's a winter workout other than coming here and making George happy, which is not an easy task, but thank you for coming. What's a normal winter workout for Logan Morrison?
Get up at probably like 8, eat breakfast, get to the field, work out at the gym, do actually stretch, throw, hit, then work out in the gym, get back around 1:30, eat lunch, hang out the rest of the day, maybe go to the beach. So it's not a bad gig in the off season.
Now, where is the off season for you?
Jupiter, Florida.
Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't your hometown. That's not where you're from, right?
No, my dad was in the military, so I was from everywhere. But Kansas City's where my extended family lives, stuff like that. And I spent 2 years of high school there, and then 2 years of high school in Slidell, Louisiana, is where my parents live now. It's right near New Orleans, and that's where I usually would go back to. This is the first year that I've been in Jupiter. So,
Who's your role model?
my dad probably. Work ethic, and taught me all the qualities it takes to be a good baseball player for sure.
Are there other siblings? Children?
No, only child. Yeah.
You're the spoiled one, huh?
Yeah, exactly. No.
Probably don't always feel like that, do you?
No. There's always, you can't blame it on the dog for eating stuff. If you don't have a dog and if you don't have a brother, you can't blame it on anybody else except for yourself. So.
I mean, you obviously work out. I mean, you're a substantive looking guy here. Does that has that always been part of your routine?
I've always got into the weight room, but I've never really, tried to take it as seriously as I have this past couple of years. And it's just another thing to help me, exceed the competition, So if anything I can do to get an edge is what I'm going to try to do.
Yeah.
So.
Do you guys read Baseball America?
Yeah, every once in a while, yeah.
You saw the most, or one of the more recent ones here, where
I don't think so.
they rank Logan Morrison.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
I mean, that's pretty significant ranking there.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Last year when we showed it to the guys who were both somewhere in the rankings, they were, first of all, they claimed to have never seen this, but they were reacting to it. It was kind of interesting. As you're looking through those 10 there, and you know most of them,
Mm-hmm.
would you rank them that way? Number one's on the other side. David.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
No?
No, I wouldn't do that. But, it's not it's not my job to rank them, so, they study this more than I would, so they probably know better.
You can have that when you get done here. But when you read the write-up of you in your ranking, is that you? Do you recognize yourself when they write how they've taken the caption?
Oh,
When they talk about Logan Morrison,
I didn't know anymore. Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty good. I don't see anything wrong with that I could pick out.
what if you had to add value to it, or what would you add to it?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question because I just try to go out there and play. I'm not worried about what everybody else says and the media and all that. But, it's nice to get good things said about you for sure.
Yeah. Well, they kind of get a sense, as do the internet. Last year was sort of a breakout year for you.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's, I keep breaking out and keep staying that way through that path for sure.
If you had a timeline in your style, what would you be to get to the majors?
If out of spring training for sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't see that. I don't see that happening. And if it doesn't happen, I'm not expecting it, so I'm not worried about it.
Do you deal much with the Jim Flemings? Do you hear much from them?
Yeah, whenever they come in, I say hello and talk to them, and they give me some tips, pointers here and there, and they're really good guys, and they definitely know what they're talking about. They've been around the game forever, so
Right.
yeah.
Did you have choices as you were looking at teams? Marlins selected you, but one of the options you had, of course, was to get thrown back and take your chances and go back
Right.
into the draft. Was there a reason why the Marlins may have been appealing to you?
Well, their turnover's pretty good. I mean, I didn't really, it's not like I don't care who drafted me or who drafts me. I didn't really worry about that at the time. But the fact that their turnover's pretty good, they don't pay guys long-term deals and stuff like that. That's definitely a good. I'm in a good place right now for sure.
Right. Do you find that is a real selling point for the Marlins because they do turn over quite a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't think I think guys like that, but they're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to sign with the Marlins and not this team because they don't really have that choice,
Right.
and it doesn't matter. So
At
it's
some
not
point,
like a recruiting thing where you can pick colleges,
Right.
You don't really do that with pro ball. They pick you, and if the amount of money's right, then you sign. If not, then you go back. So.
How'd you select an agent?
How did I? Actually, the first agent I had kind of just talked to my dad and stuff like that. But we moved on past that, and now I selected another guy, and he's been with him forever, or for 2 years, for 2 years, and he seems to be good, and probably stick with him. And I selected him. A teammate of mine had him, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to meet this guy." Met him, heard what he had to say, heard about the company, and it's worked out pretty well for me.
Do you do a lot of interviews? You're very good at this.
I have this last year, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Are there any courses given by the Marlins in how to deal with the media?
They have, your coaches will help you out here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as that goes, there's this rookie etiquette camp going on right now that some guys are invited to. Guy that played John Rayner, he's at it right now. Gabby Sanchez, he's in the thing too. He's going to it, I think. And Chris Coughlin. I think they'll probably say something about that in there.
Right.
They deal with everything from like how to deal with stalkers to what fork to eat with. So I'm sure that'll be somewhere involved in that.
Yeah. Do you keep in contact with a lot of your teammates over the off season here?
I talked to Scott and John. Talk to Brad Stone every once in a while through text. I talk to a fair amount of guys, and it's not like checking up on them like, hey, how's the weightlifting going? It's just, hey, man, how you doing? I'm actually going to see Scott. It's his birthday next weekend, and I'm going to see him in San Francisco. So I fly into West Palm tomorrow, get a day for Wednesday, and then fly out on Thursday and go to San Francisco. So
Somebody's got to share a birthday with them, right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Someday, or in probably 2007, when your picture's on a baseball card. What's that like? This is the ultimate calling card for a guy who wants to be in a professional baseball.
Yeah, I mean, when you're little, you see all these guys in baseball cards, and you're like, oh, that's cool. But once you get to be, about the game, and you get in this, it's just like, oh, yeah, you're on a baseball card. You sign them, stuff like that. It's, you're not worried about it. You're trying to get to the big league, so you don't care about your baseball cards.
Yeah.
And, half the other, most of the people, unless they're really fanatical about it, they don't know who you are. And it's a good reason, because it's what they say is the only league that ever matters, the only league that anybody cares about is the big league. So all this stuff that I got this year doesn't mean crap because I haven't done it in the big league. So
have you collected anything along the way, just as sort of memorabilia?
Yeah, I got some. Ryan Sandberg was my coach out in the fall league, and I got some autographed balls from him. Reggie Jackson, that was pretty cool. I hit for the cycle out in the fall league, so I got to keep. I kept that the ball I hit the triple with was the last ball I needed. Last thing I needed was a triple, so I kept that ball.
You were staying at third, even if it was going to be an inside the park home run.
No, I had to trust me. That won't happen. I had to hustle to get to third. So, yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool to have worked with Ryan Sandberg. What's he like?
He's awesome. He's definitely, he teaches us. When he says something, he doesn't say a lot, but when he says something, you listen because of who he is and because you just know he knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he does, and he doesn't. Some guys will come up to you every day and be like, "Hey, I don't think you should be doing this, this, and this." No, he'll come up to you and he'll be like, "This is different today. You mean it to be like that?" And you're like, "No, I didn't even notice." And then you go back to doing what you did the day before, and he'll lock you in and stuff like that. So, he's a good, definitely good hitting coach.
Is that what he was with you, a hitting coach?
Yeah, he's a manager, I think. This is his first hitting job, and he can do it all, I'm sure. And he taught me a lot on defensive wise too. Staying on the balls of your feet, move here, moving here, and I felt a lot better out there doing it. So.
No, it's a real honor to be invited to go out there.
Yeah.
Did you appreciate it as such? That
Oh, absolutely. They only send 6 guys out of each organization, and they chose me to go. So I was excited, real excited about it. So.
And when the day is done, even though it extends your playing, were you exhausted when the day you finally got done with the season?
Yeah, it does, because of the fact that you got guys that are resting up, and they're probably, if I was into it, I would have been lifting, and halfway through when the fall league got done, well, I couldn't really lift and do the stuff I needed to do because of the season in the fall league, which, here or there doesn't really matter because you're still getting valuable plate appearances and valuable playing time out there. But it cuts into your off season. Yeah, you get a little tired because I played probably. I had over 600 plate appearances. I don't know how many games, and I'm sure the majors, those guys in the big leagues do that too. But probably played 170, 180 games. So, but it was fun though. I had a good time out there.
So the funniest thing that's happened to Logan Morrison is what?
Yeah, the funniest thing. The Fanatic was in Clearwater, and we played out there this year. And he had the 4-wheeler going around, and I was out there stretching. I was the last one on the line before the game, and he's talking to me. He's like, "Hey, Hoss, get on this. Go ahead and ride." I'm like, "No, I can't, man. I'll get in trouble." My manager will be like, "Oh, nobody's out here. Nobody will care." So, got on it, rode it to the dugout. My manager's in there cussing me out. "Get off the thing. Get off." I was just laughing. It was fun. We ended up winning that game. Good thing, because if I didn't, then I ended up having a decent game. But if I didn't, then something might have been going down there. But it's all right. Worked out good.
Now, is that a nickname, or are you just Hoss because you're a big stud?
He just called me. Yeah, a Fanatic didn't know me. He just called me Hoss. I don't know.
Yeah.
The nickname's just Lomo. That's pretty much what everybody calls me. Is Lomo.
Limo?
Lomo.
Oh, Lomo.
Lomo. Yeah.
And coming from what?
Logan Morrison.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing too original, that's for sure. So.
As you're working on this off season, and as you're looking into this year, what's the improvement that you really want to see?
Just being more consistent, more patient at the plate. I have patience here and there, but sometimes get in a rush, sometimes do this. I just want to be all the time, do it right. So, it's not going to happen because I'd be perfection, but strive to be as close to perfect as possible, and then hopefully that'll help me get to where I need to be.
As you look at, you talked about your dad being a role model. Are there players, even on the Marlins, that you'd say, "Gee, he's a guy I really want to emulate"? Yeah.
On the Marlins, well, George Brett was probably a role model for me. As far as the way he played the game, always hustled, always played hard, and was real intense, and sometimes too intense. But it's a lot better than being sometimes too laid back. So I'd rather be like him than probably anybody else, I would say.
Has your paths crossed with George?
I've never like officially met him or anything. I saw him yelling at a guy named Bob Hamlin. He was the Rookie of the Year for the Royals. We were in Baseball City when they still had it in Orlando. Me and my dad went down there when I was younger, and I don't know, he's doing something in BP and he's yelling at him for it. No, I've seen him there, seen him at the games, but other than that, I haven't really ever officially met him.
Goose Gossage was here, and Goose Gossage gave up the pitch
Yeah.
at Pine Tar.
Yeah.
And that episode alone, and having Goose Gossage explain it, how George Brett reacted to it, is dramatic. It's just dynamite. So yeah, as far as intensity and that vision of him coming out from
Yeah,
home
exactly.
plate,
Exactly.
that's my idea, and I'm sure yours of George Brett. Royals, that was your favorite team?
Yeah. Still is, but that's actually the second favorite because the Marlins write my checks. So Marlins are my favorite
Different
team. Yeah. But the Royals, no, they're just struggling. But hopefully they'll figure it out someday. But not too soon because I don't play for them yet. But if I play for them, then they can figure it out.
Yeah.
With George Brett, though, I think he wanted to be known for the pine tar, so he made it even more dramatic. Because before that, he was known as the hemorrhoid guy in the '80 World Series. So,
That's right.
so everybody forgot about that. Now he's the pine tar guy.
He is the pine tar guy. As you've been here the last couple of days, what has George been having you do?
We went out on Saturday. Saturday we went and signed at the stadium. We signed from like 9 to 12, signed, and then from like 2 to 4:30 we signed in some place in Bradford, Pennsylvania. We signed out there for the Little League.
Oh, really? So you did some
sign-ups.
clinics?
Yeah, we did Little League sign-ups, and then we did clinics today, and yesterday and today, and then now we have that hot stove tonight. So
Organizational Minor League Player of the Year. That's pretty heady stuff for a guy like Logan Morrison.
yeah, that was they announced that. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool feeling for sure.
Florida State League's most valuable player, 332, 13 home runs, 74 RBIs. And then at Arizona League, 404. We didn't talk about that. 5 home runs, 25 games. 404. That's I'd like to have that in the season, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll take that any day.
Yeah. Did you find that the quality of the play was stepped up pretty dramatically?
As far as from the
From the regular season to the Arizona League?
the thing about the Arizona League is you can tell that the guys obviously they have more talent all around. The pitching is they throw harder, they do this, they do that, but a lot of times they're out there working on stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not getting their best. It's a fastball league. They're going to try to get ahead of you with the fastball so they can work on their pitches they're supposed to be working on. A lot of times it's not their out pitch they're working on because their out pitch is their out pitch because it's good. They're working on their third pitch. So I'm going to see a lot of their third pitches instead of their secondary pitches, so it makes it easier to hit, I would say, out there.
Oh, that's interesting. Do they kind of forewarn you about that, or is that?
No, you just kind of go and figure that out.
Do you? Who are the other guys from the Marlins?
They were out there. It would be Scott Cousins.
Right.
You got John Rayner was out there. Sean Doolittle. Tim Wood. Aaron Thompson. Me. Sean West. So there's about 7 guys out there, I think, for us. It's pretty fun. Pretty good time.
Are you guys split up among the leagues, or among the teams?
As far as, what do you mean?
No, as far as
Out in Arizona? No,
Arizona.
we're on the same.
all the same team, yeah.
Each organization, there's 4 organizations probably per team.
Mm-hmm.
And we are with the Tigers, Phillies, Cubs, us, and us. I think it's 4. Yeah, that's it, I think. Yeah.
Who's your manager?
Rocket Wheeler. He actually managed the guy on the cover here.
That was Art.
Yeah, in Myrtle Beach. Tommy Hansen. That guy's amazing. He's on my team out there. He's pretty good. And then, Sam Rivers was a hitting coach, and a guy by the name of Ray Burris was the pitching coach.
Ray Burris, he was the old Chicago Cubs pitcher.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Who's some of the other managers?
Let's see, I'm trying to think. You had Pop. Oh, he's with the Cardinals, double-A manager. I just know him by Pop. I forget his last name. There's 4 teams out there, and I can't think of any of them.
Well, you're under a lot of pressure here in Jamestown, New York.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I knew who the Desert Dog manager was. I mean, I knew if I saw him, but I didn't never get his name. Never really met him. Shoot, couldn't really
As
tell
they
you.
do a scouting report on you, and I'm sure they have, what's the out pitch that you're most worried about that they're throwing at you?
That's not really. I mean, a pitch that I'm not looking for, I'd say. I don't know. I mean, there's not many. You can't really say because a different guy's going to be different.
Right.
If they have a really good changeup, then I'm going to be thinking about their fastball and their changeup. If they have 3 pitches, I'm trying to make them 2. If they have 2 pitches, I'm trying to make them a 1-pitch
Right,
pitcher.
right.
So that's you can't really. It just depends.
It's got to be an exciting time for Logan Morrison.
Yeah,
You've had a couple of really great season last year, great fall league.
mm-hmm.
You got to go into this with great expectations.
Yeah, I mean, there's expectations. There's always going to be expectations, but just not really worried about any of that. Just going out there every day and playing hard, working hard, and hopefully taking 1 pitch at a time, 1 AB at a time, and hopefully everything will work out.
Well, congratulations on a great year.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by, and we'll look forward to seeing you tonight because they'll have you working, selling. You pick up auction items. You'll be kissing the young women. Those kind of things.
Nice. All right. It sounds
you.
good.
During those years, coming up through all the baseball, do you look back and who had an influence on you baseball-wise? Was there a coach? Was there a community person? Was there anybody in particular that was a big influence in your baseball?
Well, I have to say my dad, probably first and foremost. He was the one going out there and throwing balls to me every day during the summer. Had to hit 100 baseballs. I think that bucket got a little bigger towards the end of it too, because I was hitting a lot more than 100. Getting tired out there. And then I took had hitting lessons from Kevin Seitzer. I don't know, some of you might know him. I played with the Royals and then the Indians and Brewers, and set the rookie hit record, so that's not bad. Man, this kid can hit. And they ended up signing Jake that year too. So.
I don't know if you remember this, but Jacob was here 2 years ago. He hit 300 for the Jammers when he was here, and Jacob and Logan played together at Maple Woods Community College. You get done at Maple Woods in your spring, you sign with the Marlins. They send you to the Gulf Coast League down in Jupiter. You had 3 weeks, or maybe it was 4 weeks that you spent here in Jamestown. Any memories that you have of Jamestown, either on the field, off the field, around the field, that you can look back on now and talk about or share with us?
Yeah, there's this, she's actually here tonight, Miss Kim. She's right there, she is. Stand up, Miss Kim. Stand up. There she is. Anybody wants a good pizza bake? It's a good pizza bake. And George actually took me in. I came up and they usually move somebody up so I can get in with wherever that person was, but it worked out to where there wasn't a spot open, and George took me in and stayed there for 3 weeks, me and 2 other kids, so.
Then we had Scott Cousins, Dustin Case, and Morrison. So we had 3 guys downstairs, the 4 of us upstairs. We had Kim controlled nicely for 3 weeks. Guys ran the house.
They still do. You come on.
Tell me about, and coming into the middle of the season to a group of guys that you haven't been around all year, and what your expectations are of Jamestown. Obviously, you've never been here before. You fly in, you get here to the stadium about 5 o'clock on a game day. What do you remember?
I remember going into our manager's office, Bill Porter at the time, and he goes, "I'm gonna throw you right in the fire." I'm like, "Oh my God." I had no sleep. Got up at like 4 in the morning to go to the airport. Was tired. I'm falling asleep, and George likes to talk. I don't know if you guys know that. I'm trying to get a nap in, and George is over there. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, George, you're all right, yeah, okay." So he's telling me about why they're the Jammers, why they got the grave, and I'm like, "Okay, all right, I got it." So he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine by game time. Adrenaline will kick in." Actually, it's probably the best game I had here. Didn't get a hit after that game, but whatever. So.
Logan, you go down, season finishes, you go home for the off season. Now the first time that you get the opportunity to go to Jupiter for the big training camp, everybody's there. 60 major leaguers did the big league camp, 140 minor league players. You got 200 baseball players in the facility down there. What memories do you have of that first weeks or so, that first training camp? I mean, it's always a first. What do you remember about your first?
Yeah, it was crowded. You know, it's always crowded with all those guys down there. But being there for the Gulf Coast League, I think, you know, I kind of knew what it was about. And you the etiquette. You can't walk through the big league. You can't walk through the batting cages or their field. You got to walk around, and that walk is long. You walk from, I don't know, Andy, it's a mile, right? No, it's not a mile.
For some of you that don't know, the Florida Marlins have their training camp in Jupiter, Florida. We share a facility with the St. Louis Cardinals at Roger Dean Stadium. So if you're looking at the stadium, if you draw a line from home plate through center field, everything to the left field line is Florida Marlins. Everything to the right side is the St. Louis Cardinals. So we have the stadium, then you have your batting tunnels and your pitching mounds and plates, and then you have 6 or 7 fields out back. That's where all this baseball happens. But everything right close to the buildings are all the big league stuff. And if you're not in the big league camp and you're not in the big leagues, you have to go out around. It's like that hollow ground. You're not allowed to walk there if you're not there. So what he's talking about is he has to go all the idiosyncrasies. Any fines? Did you collect any fines down there for doing something stupid? You get fined for stupid stuff in baseball.
Yeah, it's getting kind of hot on the stove right now.
Breaking curfew?
Yeah, I did that a couple times, but let's just leave it at that. Yeah, I broke curfew a couple times and got fined and had to run a lot, so don't break curfew.
Greensboro comes. Your next opportunity is Greensboro at Low A, and you get down there, you start the season, you play there the whole season. Tell me about your experiences at Greensboro.
Greensboro is an awesome place to play because of the field. I don't know if anybody's ever been there. It's got a little Jamestown in it, the field. You know. It's a nice place to play. Jamestown's a lot bigger. So when I went into Greensboro, I was like, wow, this is a nice stadium, and it's really short. So that was awesome.
The Greensboro facility, the right field is kind of a reverse Green Monster. It just sits like from here to the TV, so if you hiccup a ball to the right field, that's why he has 24 home runs in Greensboro.
Easy.
And 13 home runs when he gets to the big field.
Thanks for putting that 203 in Jamestown, by the way. That helps you go out.
As long as you're above the Mendoza, we can talk about it.
All right.
We're showing progress.
Yeah. Okay.
So Greensboro, you get a chance to play in the All-Star game down in Greensboro. Tell us about your All-Star experience.
That was fun. I was supposed to be in the home run derby, but it got rained out, and you know, it was wet. I remember Chris Coughlin. He was up here in '06, and he was in the All-Star game. He had a double, and he's rounding first base, and it's so wet out. I was like, why are we playing? He slips and falls. I'm like, oh, he breaks something. Yeah, that would not have been good. But
This year you get to go to Jupiter. Jupiter's the high A team. You're progressing up through. Any teammates that are in Jupiter that we could talk about that might have been with you in Jamestown and or Greensboro that we as Jammer fans should be keeping our eye open as alumni that are making their way with you?
yeah, you got Jake Blackwood's up there. Was up there with me. Scott Cousins, Jay Poinsett, Kyle Winters.
Kyle Winters is another young man that came back for our hot stove a couple years ago.
Yeah, Chris Hatcher. You know anybody else? I'm trying to think.
Been here 5 years.
Well, Burns was a year before me.
Any of those that you see have the potential of being a big leaguer that we didn't see when they were early in their career here in Jamestown?
Yeah.
We're always surprised.
Yeah, a lot of those guys. You know, pretty much everybody's got the potential to be one. It's just a matter of going out there and being consistent. You know.
The season ends in Florida State. You end up being the most valuable player. You get an invitation to go to the Arizona Fall League. All right. Go into the Arizona Fall League. What's that mean for Logan Morrison when you get that call and you say, hey, you're going to represent the Marlins there?
Yeah, that was awesome. They only take like 6 guys from the organizations, and usually, well, they all have to be from Double A except for one guy. And it was awesome that they chose me for sure, and felt honored. It was a privilege, and you know, I just hopefully I wouldn't mess up, and I represented them well, and I think I did that all right. So,
Tell me who your hitting coach was in the Arizona Fall League.
Brian Sandberg. Yeah, and it was awesome, man. Because anything, he didn't speak much, but when he did, it was like, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, I'll do that. You mean me pulling pants down? Okay, yeah. He didn't say that. I would have done it. I probably would have done it.
Do you remember anything in particular that he said to you? You know, baseball, I think I was talking with Andy driving, part of the development of baseball in a professional sense is not necessarily handling the successes that come your way. You know, when you're batting 300, you're failing 7 out of 10 times. Anything that Ryan Sandberg says to you at the Arizona Fall League that just going to stick with you, that it becomes something that is a rock or a cornerstone that you build on as you obviously make this transition to your ultimate goal of being a professional?
Yeah, I mean, past the mechanics and approach and stuff like that, you know, every coach they're trying to teach you to be a better person. And when you become a better person, you're going to become a better baseball player. Because baseball's like life. In life, you fail a lot, you know. Those people who succeed people don't succeed all the time in life. And you're going to have your failures. And baseball, you are always going to have your failures. The best guys fail 7 out of 10 times. So, you know, anything that they say in life and the game is to make you better as a person and as a player. So.
In about a month from now, you're going to walk into the clubhouse. You are now no longer making that track out around to stay off the holy ground. You're going into that big league training camp. What does Logan Morrison think about? What does he fill his head up in the daytime as you go to work every day now, getting your repetitions in to develop your skill sets? What do you focus on to make sure that you try to level out your peaks and your valleys and try to stay level? Where is your focus?
Well, as far as that goes, you just level temperament. If you're doing really well, if you're hitting 500, know that's going to come down, so you got to stay right here like you're hitting 300. Nobody should ever know how bad or how good you're doing. You know, you're going to stay level-headed, and that should carry you through the great times and then the bad times. And you know, just have fun with it. If you don't have fun, there's no reason to be out there. So, as far as nothing's going to change my approach or my mentality about the game. I'm still going to play hard. Doesn't matter if I'm in big league camp or I'm in minor league camp, because nobody's always watching. So.
Well, I think that what I'd like to do is just leave an open-ended finish for you. Give you a chance to say or whatever you'd like to everybody here. I think that it's wonderful. It's always exciting for us. I speak for a lot of people in this room. It's always exciting for us to be able to have this little bit of influence in Logan Morrison as he goes forward. It's great when Chris Volstead comes back, or the Gabby Sanchez. We're going to be thrilled to death when we turn on the TV and hopefully Brett Carroll's healthy next year and watch him play in the big leagues. We take a lot of pride. This community takes a lot of pride in remembering their alumni. Anything that you want to say to us or share with us from your heart that you want to finish up here?
Well, when you get to the big leagues, you're always in big cities, and you know, I haven't experienced myself, but I've been in big cities before, and Jamestown is a good place. It's family oriented, and all you guys that come out here, you know, you truly want people that you see that you know who succeed, and that's something that's lost in bigger towns and stuff like that. And when you go out, you know, when I lived at Sisson's place, I'd always go out to that mall. And, you know, that mall, it's a good mall. You know, you got the movie theaters. I love those movie theaters. You don't get those places like that in West Palm and stuff like that. So, you know, it's fun, and it's definitely an experience I'll never forget.
Let's give Logan a big hand for making his way back to Jamestown.